Any minor observation, each minor obstacle, if this penetrates your composure, you're giving away your power. The fact is the most unshakable people don't have fewer problems. They just master how they react. Envision moving through your journey undisturbed. No more overthinking. No more emotional outbursts. Only absolute command. In this video, I'll teach you how to train your mind to remain imperturbable. Perfecting the unshakable attitude is essential. The world is full of distraction. People's opinions, everyday irritations, unforeseen roadblocks. Suppose I explain that authentic force originates from controlling strategic detachment. The essential factor is developing to disconnect your reactions from outside events. When you allow external events to control your state, you become a puppet of powers outside your command. But when you train your mind to stay unshaken, you transform into the architect of your fate. When you embody this mindset, you exercise dominance without saying a word. Reflect on the most impactful leaders in history. They never were people who reacted impulsively to every slight. Their power wasn't in their ability to argue, but rather in their capacity to remain unaffected. Envision a moment where someone insults you in public. The natural response for most consists of rage. Yet what occurs if you merely grin and leave? You rob the instigator of their power. Similar rules apply to losses and roadblocks. Those who understand the force of detachment perceive loss merely as feedback, a valuable lesson. They don't incorporate loss, they observe, adjust, and progress. How do you cultivate this level of control? Cultivate the routine of hesitating before responding. Question internally, does this circumstance genuinely impact my long-term goals? One more essential factor consists of mental imagery. Envision yourself as a person who navigates existence unmoved. When you solidify this projection within your thinking, it converts to your existence. Emotional separation doesn't mean repressing sentiments. It concerns commanding them. Imagine this. You're within a fierce debate. Will you allow their speech to dominate your feelings, or do you smile unaffected? When you implement the strategy, stress decreases, clarity increases. What you concentrate on, you magnetize. Yet, when you assume mastery of your thinking and feelings, you transform into designer of your destiny. Conditioning yourself for emotional separation doesn't signify you turn indifferent. It indicates you stop letting external forces to dictate your consciousness. Your feelings assist you, not conversely. Mindful indifference is a superpower. We're programmed to think we need to concern ourselves with everything. However, authentic independence emerges when you comprehend that numerous matters are insignificant. Indifference doesn't mean apathy. It indicates choice. Not every battle is worth fighting. When you quit engaging to every minor inconvenience, you reclaim command. Stop seeking approval. Pursuing validation is a snare. The moment you give external sources of control to establish your significance, you lose control over your own life. Authentic assurance isn't provided. It's built through self-reliance. The most charismatic people don't beg for approval. They embrace their essence, imperfections included. Freedom comes when you relinquish the necessity to be accepted by all. Whatever you perform, someone will always have something to say. So why dissipate your strength endeavoring to appease everybody? If you want to break free from a validation snare, start by asking yourself, whose assessment authentically matters? One more essential action consists of learning self-validation. As you begin acknowledging your own worth, environmental acceptance transforms trivial. The second you quit chasing acceptance is when you begin existing with liberty. Judgment is unavoidable, however, how you process it determines your power. Judgment only possesses as much strength as you grant it. If you respond sentimentally, you allow it to dominate you. The most powerful people don't let criticism shake them. They evaluate it with lucid thinking. Take what's useful and abandon what's left. Examine condemnation through rationality, not emotion. There are two types of criticism, constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is valuable. Damaging condemnation, by contrast, is intended to tear you apart. Not all voices deserve your attention. When you apply to judgment with calm indifference, you show the world that your certainty is unwavering. The most resilient persons don't worry about condemnation. They employ it strategically or they dismiss it totally. Pressure exposes people. Some shatter, however the resilient stay unmoved, as they discipline their consciousness before the hurricane emerges. The secret is to detach from the need for control. Not everything will go as planned. However, you don't engage effectively. You reply with tactics. Most people crack under pressure because they resist reality. Your thinking is your war zone. The ideas you permit entry will decide your victory or defeat. To train an unshakable mind, you should construct cognitive routines. Thankfulness to resist cynicism, discipline to override laziness. Every day, you must train yourself to stay unshaken, to pause before reacting. Most people are slaves to their emotions, yet those who master their thinking govern everything. Cognitive force is forged in daily minor instances. Within the most potent cognitive routines, you should forge is distance. Separation doesn't signify unconcern, it indicates command. Another crucial element is discipline. The mind will always seek comfort. Yet rigor reconstructs thinking. Begin modestly. Pledge to practices that reinforce your mental strength. Genuine strength operates quietly. It doesn't chase notice. It simply acts and allows outcomes to communicate. The most vocal individuals present are frequently the most fragile. If you wish to be valued, cease declaring your intentions. Accomplishment isn't forged through statements. It's forged through execution. The more you talk, the more you draw examination. As you operate quietly, nobody perceives your approach. The strongest individuals don't dissipate strength validating themselves. They permit their accomplishment to express. Silence is not passive. It's tactics. As you vocalize, your statements possess significance. In a reality where most urgently pursue attention, be the person who doesn't pursue acknowledgement. While others chase attention, you see perfection. This is the difference between those who talk about doing great things and those who truly execute them. The instant you cease supplying outside approval, you'll perceive something. Individuals will begin noticing. They'll inquire about your process. And that's when you'll understand you've authentically commanded circumstances, not as you announced to all, but as you manifested it without saying a word.